Welcome to Wednesday with your favorite, your one and only, your slightly squishy, sick as fuck tomato. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. I hit the wrong button when I started, so I just went,
Yay!
welcome in everybody. How you doing? I am slightly sick. And as you can see, we've got the whole setup here for it. Got a little humidifier. Very lovingly blowing right onto my light. It's doing okay though. And I've got cough drops. My throat is numbed. My voice sounds more like my voice than it did yesterday. So, we're going to try to get through the stream today, and I'm going to show you a little bit of some gameplay. We're going to get into Star Citizen 4.1, check out some mining. I hear there's some pretty decent mining changes going on, and I want to do some testing because I want to run a big mining operation in the org. I want to get GII together and get like 30 plus people out there, multiple rocks, multiple locations, like passing cargo back and forth, but first, I want to make sure that's even viable. So, thank you everybody for joining me. If you have, Notification Gang, first of the day. Welcome to your Wednesday. Hope you're looking forward to a good time. How's everybody's week going? Where is this thing? For the record. This is the same sickness. Well, most likely same sickness. That Mrs. Tomato was dealing with last week. So, we're going to, that's really it. It's just working its way through the household. So, luckily, that means Mrs. Tomato hopefully won't get sick again after this. And we've completed our sickly week. It looks like we might be trapped here. Or are you just looking at the button? You down for rock mining, your favorite game loop? You tried it in 4.1? Jim, there seems to be a lot of us who are persistently, annoyingly 1 to 2 out of 10 sick. You have kids by any chance? By the way, everybody, thank you so much for being here. I haven't said my hellos. Sorry about the late day. It took a little while for me to get started this morning. Not gonna lie. Maverick, though, good to see you. Mrs. Tomato, of course. Welcome in. Rhino and Drazen, Vasson, and Valis. Zero. Twitch was popping off. Good job, guys. I like to see a good dance day. A good dance day. Thaki and Valis, thank you guys both for the subs. Using that Prime sub I see from Thaki. Folks, if you have... Hey, you know what I just saw? So there's this guy who follows a lot of Twitch news, and he posts it on like Blue Sky and Twitter and his Discord. And he just released information yesterday that there are like something like 524,000 people who have Prime subs on Twitch. Which comes out to something like if you assume they're all dollars, some like $1.5 million or something like that. It's like just a ton of potential for creators out there. Not saying that you guys have $1.5 million, but those Prime subs are powerful. I honestly think that's kind of what keeps Twitch in the game. If they got rid of their whole Prime sub thing, I think people would move over to other streaming platforms more quickly. Because that's how most people get their subs. Can you try see if they fix the mining gadget in space in 4.1? Mining gadget in space. So it works in atmosphere but not in space? Cake, did I freak you out with the stream start? Oh, right, because you guys don't get the whole lead up to the thingy. By the way, Trillin, Wizard Actual, thank you guys for being in that YouTube stream so quick. Baltzin and Maverick, Pedro, and Jim, Timber and Cake. Good to see you all today. Girlfriend is an RN, you work with public, so between the two of you, oh, yeah, you guys, you're pretty set. Okay, guys, I think we're all just going to want to spawn at the hospital. So see y'all there. Apparently elevators aren't working too great. You threw the rock down the crater from the Hathor laser and mined up some Karenite. Was a pretty cool experience. Is there a... There's actually a crater that opens up from that laser? Oh, God. Dude. Baltzan with the membership fire hose again. Dropping 10 memberships on YouTube again today. Thank you, man. And again, my stream refuses to tell me. I'm going to refresh the YouTube alerts file and see if that's why. Maybe that'll help it. My man! That calls for an addition to Popes. We already have Rykop on here from last time because Rykop kind of went off. But now, Baltzan. Toast Gang! It's a huge honor, of course. Did I tell you guys that one of the videos that I made recently, because we haven't gotten this all set up yet, one of the videos that I made, somebody was saying that there's too much white in the back. Oh, I think I did tell you that. I just remembered one of the things he had mentioned was the whiteboard. I'm like, I'm not going to turn it into a blackboard with white markers. What kind of madness is this? Reader mode? Dude, yeah, I think the elevators are just broken. I don't think we're going to be able to do this. Yeah, I'm not wearing a white shirt anymore. So we're better off for it. Oh, God. Genuinely, though, I really don't want to have a chalkboard in here. That's miserable. Oh, nice. May you have the code? Hit up Mrs. Tomato for that one. Okay. We have completed the first challenge. We've gotten into the city. Now I'm going to go and get us a rock. We're going to toss it in the back of a ship, and then we're going to get out to Hurston's Moons. We've got several new materials, right? You mentioned, what was it? Karenite? That you got from the Hathor laser mining Hathor mining laser? Maybe we can swing by there and see what they've got for us. I'm gonna steal a little bit. I'm a griefer. I'm a mining griefer. No, this is not the right way. No, this is also not the right way. Whew. Karenite, does it just yell incessantly about dumb stuff? No, you start mining it, shoot the laser into the rock, and it goes, "Excuse me. Can I please talk to your boss? Let me talk to your manager about this. I don't think you've mined with the respect I deserve." Baradon, Glacosite, and Fane Malign? What the heck? I'm just... Oh, it does kind of look like I blend in with the chair a little bit. Don't you know who I am? I'm Karenite. You wanna mine me? This guy did the bare minimum. He took 2 steps onto the train and then said, okay, I'm gonna go get some food. He's probably off somewhere in the house, doing something else.
Next stop, Pizza Spaceport.
Because that's what you do. You hop on the train and you go grab your snack or something. I wonder if he'll know when we get to the destination. You gonna hop off the train? Are you ready? You're a jittery fellow in game, or my camera? My camera might be jittery. Be like that.
Stand by and let passengers disembark before.
Uh-oh. Hey. Hey. All right. Have fun. Moving back and forth like a jittery wizard. Well, in another life, I was a wizard. A space wizard. A Jedi. A Jedi. My camera has chosen a frame rate of 20 frames per second instead of, you know, something more proper. Okay. I don't even know if I can get a rock here. I might have to go to the actual refinery station. You don't like mining? You rather do FPS over mining? How about FPS mining? Yeah, shoot some rocks. Hey! Nice. Alright. Got ourselves a rock. You know what? Just in case. Is for some reason we're really feeling it. I'm gonna grab us a prospector too. If a gray cat vehicle explodes, it crashes the client? That's annoying. Why do you so passionately hate, Wait, I don't want to have to deal with this. Why do you so passionately hate mining? They had minables on asteroids you could mine. Did they take that away? Why would they have removed that? You were doing some rock mining in live, and while you technically make more money way faster doing bunkers and boarding actions, those fail about 50% of the time, so rock mining was more stable. Ah, the table turns. Boredom? That's real. I feel that. Oh. Mining is definitely one of the less exciting ways to play the game. Did they remove all the ASOP terminals in here? Oh, they're over here, right? They had it in 2 patches and then removed it? I did not know they removed that, but I also imagine it was kind of not worth spawning since most people didn't know it existed. And CIG, of course, didn't put in the effort to let us know it existed. Yeah, I'm gonna do the rock first. Ooh, if I do the rock, the smallest hangars are small. So if I do the rock, I should still be able to spawn the... No. I'm gonna have to spawn the spirit first. It's annoying.
Vehicle selected. Stand by.
It's just a good loot mining. You like mining, PK?
Delivered to the following location. Your please.
Did they get the repair missions into the game? Ooh. That would be fantastic. It would make sense that they're in Pyro and not Stanton, though, because Stanton doesn't have new outposts. Hopefully that's something that comes up this year. Okay. It says I've got a hangar. The better of the two between salvage and mining. Mining just takes more knowledge at the end of the day. Yeah, I think that's the interesting part about it. It's like it's fairly boring, but you can get pretty deep into it if you're using like the different tools and stuff. More so than the other professions. Right? I think PK has a really good point. Mining kind of anything you can do in the game, mining is the thing that takes the most literal know-how. Where to find the rocks, what you need to break certain rocks, what you should be targeting for yourself, where to sell things, what to use for your refining method. Like, mining's definitely got the depth compared to others, but it is more boring. Which makes sense. That's, that is, mining is the first thing that they brought in besides combat.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Dude, where is my ship? Why tell me I've got a ship if I don't have a freaking ship?
To the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
A waste of time.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
You can even go so far as where to refine. Where to refine materials. Yeah. Whew. Oh, that throat pain. I don't know about the extended pods for the Prospector yet. We'll check that out when we get to the refining station. It's not even moving. Oh, is that the doors opening I was hearing? Holy crap. I hate these freaking hangars, man. It's so big. What's up, Tomcat? Can you do much with a rented what? Prospector? Can't you customize rented vehicles now? You asking about a rock? Hey, you could do plenty with a rented rock.
Systems activating. Systems on. Systems off.
Just a heads up for anybody who's here and wondering why I'm not talking as much today. Because I'm sick. My throat is kind of killing me, so I'm just gonna be a little bit less talky.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle
All right.
has been delivered to the following location.
Now time for our actual ship. I don't think party members can call in their own ships in these. No. To be honest, the doors should be opening and closing as the elevator's moving. Oh crap. I almost fell. 4.1 will be live end of month, yeah. Yeah, you can still do plenty with a prospector rented. But I do not know if you can customize rented vehicles yet. Cannot customize them. So best bet then is to go out with a prospector and bring some gadgets with you. And you can use those to make rocks more crackable. First thing you heard is, oh no, oh crap, I almost fell. Common Star Citizen problem. Oh, I need my rock. Wait, if you can unlock rented vehicles by unlocking the ports and manual tractor beam attachments, then you should be able to customize your pros. Dude, the f***'s my rock? F***ing persistent hangers, everybody. Other side. No, it just deleted my rock. Okay. You park it in the freight elevator? Why does it even matter how close it is to the edge? Just keep my goddamn vehicle in.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Alan, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Means a lot today. If you had to guess... hold on. Holy crap. If you had to guess... T0, what would you guess is the new ship or vehicle dropping in 4.1? I mean, I'm assuming it's whatever the one that was leaked.
Please visit us again.
I won't talk about that, but I have no other reason to expect a certain type of ship coming to Star Citizen right now because they're not doing feature stuff, so it's hard to see what might be the priority. That was a manual bleep. All right, round 2. Can we get Can we just simply get the things that we want to use for the game? The bar is low.
Systems activating.
Somebody said in my comments the other day that they were waiting for the Mercury Star Runner Mark II. And I'm like, CIG really needs to stop letting the community just make up whatever the heck we want because of our feelings and start correcting this stuff. I don't think I've seen CIG come out a single time and say, hey, the Mark II series of Hornets was planned. It's not normal. It's not standard. We're not doing it for everything. The Mark II, what is it? Spirit? No, Mark II, what's the other one? The other one that came out that was supposed to be better than the Spirit. The Zeus. The Mark II Zeus is a lore explanation. We don't even have a Mark I Zeus. And so because they released 2 versions of Mark IIs in the same year, people
To the ASOP
are
vehicle retrieval
sure.
system.
Now, I'm not sure they won't do Mark II for more vehicles, but as of right now, it's never been a standard. It's never been mentioned. It's never been understood. We've known that the Hornet Mark II is going to be a thing for like a decade. So I just can't understand why CIG doesn't just put out a statement, an official word, probably because they're still considering if they want to do the Mark IIs. They're like, you know what, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should just Mark II everything. No, they're going to update the MSR. They're not just going to start ditching every ship that they've ever made in order to make a new version of it. That being said, the fact that they made the Fortune and did not update the Prospector is pretty dumb, in my opinion. Want to redo the internals of those ships, and the problem is people who want the old version will want the old version. That's too bad. Imagine if they took all 150 models of the ships that they have in this game and then made 2 versions of each of them, and then they had to support double. Whee! Ouch. Whoa. You think they will? Nah, they won't. They never mentioned a 600i Mark II, even though the entirety of that interior is changing. They never did a 300i Mark II. They never did a Cutlass Black Mark II. They didn't do a Freelancer Mark II. What else have they reworked over the years? The Avenger Titan didn't have a Mark II. Still don't understand what possible reason to use the Fortune over the Vulture. If you like it, you like the looks, if you don't want to get up as much, if you want to have your storage stored on the outside of your ship, if you want to only have one floor on your ship, if you want easier access to... Actually, no, that's not true. Easier, the Vulture has plenty of easy access. If you want a better view while you're salvaging, I think there are quite a few reasons to pick the Fortune over the Vulture. But if you're a min-maxer, it might not seem so. Okay, we finally got the rocket to the ship. Yeah, the Reclaimer needs a big update too. What else? What other vehicle? Oh, the Reclaimer. No, I'm sorry, the Retaliator They reworked the Retaliator. They didn't do a Mark II. But I feel like I'm forgetting a big rework. I don't remember. Yeah, they're all going to get updates. It's actually really interesting, though, because this conversation has completely changed over the last year. 1 year ago, maybe 1.5 years ago, every time you asked someone about a ship they liked, they'd be like, oh yeah, I can't wait for the rework. But because CIG released the Hornet Mark IIs, now everybody's like, oh, I can't wait for the Mark II. It's just been a complete shift.
Quantum fuel 100%. Launch complete.
Yeah, 600I1 isn't done yet. Is my eye tracker working? No, it's not. MSR does need some love. It certainly needs its rework. Not having interior storage on the MSR is pretty bad. Okay, now we're going to head to a refining station. We're going to get any equipment we need to change out resources on the rock to make those tests happen. Looking for a Hurrell one. Except we're not facing the sun now, so...
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
Sorry about that. Okay. Are we headed for L2? Yeah.
Quantum travel engaged.
Orion fell off the production map? Yeah, Orion's been pretty much just not being worked on for like 4 or 5 years now.
Quantum travel complete.
Oh. Oh my god. Is this my reality now? I just do. I think the chessboard will be a nice touch when it works. Still too, like, frustrating to try and work. You play chess in Star Citizen. It's like trying to juggle two full-size cows while walking across a tight line in between the two large buildings. It's just not worth even trying. Been wanting to ask, does anyone know what's the deal with the little wiggle ships do when you fly into a hangar in first person? I think it's just the transition from gravity to non-gravity. I didn't get a DS, that was a regular rock. Cargo grids broke when you let the ship auto store? I didn't know that.
Could we get a fire marshal down to decom?
Yeah, the Rock DS is terrible. I would never pick one of those up. All right. So put. Ooh, sorry. Okay. And get myself something to wear. And then we would want, let's see, Misk ore pod, rock ore pod. We'll get a bunch of these. Mining sack, rock. Just in case, we'll get these too. What do you mean insufficient space? Am I not sending this to the station? How is there insufficient space? Weird. And then there are also some size 0 lasers, right? Yeah, here we go. We got a MHV size 0 mining laser. Can you tractor these on, or do you have to put them on with the vehicle manager? Yeah, 4.1, there are pods and packs. Oh, that's the DS pod, okay.
Clear bay 3.
Maverick, thank you so much for the bits today, dude. How are you doing? MHV is the default head. Okay. Should have grabbed a tractor beam while I was down there. Do I think they'll make mining variants for the Ursa? No, but I think we'll see a mining ground vehicle.
Hi, thanks for coming in.
Hey, anybody play the new Assassin's Creed yet? I'm really interested in that. I don't think I'm gonna be getting it anytime soon because we've got other games we want to play, but definitely
Thanks for coming in.
one that I've been interested in that I haven't really gotten to see too much
Welcome
of.
to the store.
I just saw a couple of reviews and it sounds like it's reviewing pretty well, but wondering what y'all had to say. Why do I have insufficient space in the space station? This doesn't make sense.
Hi,
Oh, I have insufficient space for 0. Okay. Oh, they're selling parallax ammo now. Fantastic. That's great. Mrs. Tomato with the drugs.
Hi.
Thank
Let me
you.
know if there's anything I can help you with.
It's my dealer. You can hear she still has her cough a little bit too. We're just sick people. All right, I think I'm just gonna grab an arc light. I don't need a whole rifle for this. Couple batteries for it.
Hi. Let me know if there's anything I can help.
Hope you feel better soon. Thank you, Brigadier. So do I. We're gonna see how the videos come out. Well, now that my nose isn't stuffy, so I can still do recording and stuff like that, which is nice. For now. Did I not have a tractor beam at this space station?
Hi, welcome to the store.
Am I gonna have to go back down to the refinery to get the tractor beam? Where do y'all sell tractor beams here? Live fire, noodle shop, ship weapons, transit, platinum bay. Yeah. There's not gonna be anything here. It'll be down in the refinery. Have they totally abandoned the ability to collect fuel from space? No. Brig, thank you for the 10 bits, dude.
Could we get a fire marshal down to
Much
decom?
love, friend. You're someone that makes sure you get your meds on time? Yes, Mrs. Tomato is incredibly good at taking care of those around her. She knows what the people need. That's what we were doing before this.
Thank you.
Thank you. The vapor rub and a hot shower with steam and making sure this stream was possible. So shout out to Mrs. T. Sure grip tractor beam. Size 1. If they had a size, wait, HV. Heavy duty variant of Greycat's sure grip tractor beam. Does the Rock take a tractor beam by any chance? Does anybody know? Look at all these different size tractor beams. PK, thank you so much for the community gifted subs. Guys, if you got a sub from him, make sure you give a shout out. Give a little thanks for the guy. Hey, 5-star. How are you doing, friend? Can you get a shout out for 5-star, please? So I'm just gonna grab all of these. What I'm really wondering though is, does this matter? Can I even change my vehicles out without going into the vehicle manager? Guess we get to see now if we can do this with just a tractor beam. Spicy ramen.
A movie
Do really
license
love
found.
ramen.
Report to the manager's office if you think it's yours.
Same old plans, but just not done. I don't even know if it's the same old plans, but I do know that fuel collection and refining is still planned as a profession. Okay, I'm gonna need a box. And we can't get one SU boxes here, can we?
Hazmat team to head down to the subdeck. We got a chem spill.
Handyman missions are back. Medical's back? What is medical doing now? Ah, yes. Cool. So we do have a box here. So now we can come over here. We can open up this box and put all of our, Grin Rock DS ore pod.
Katoma, please report to management as soon as possible. Katoma to management.
Volume 5 million? Why is the Grey Cat Rocks mining pod bigger than a 1 SU box? Medical beacons are working again. That's cool. But now people have less reason to stay alive. A bunch of missions got updated to work for meshing. That's good.
Announcement to check your valve systems. We've been noticing leaks in processes.
Yeah. Okay, so these Grin Rock mining bags are bigger than a 2 SU box, I guess. So we will have to manually move these over to our ship. That's okay, though. It's PTU. Wait, delivery missions? Like the box delivery missions are working again? That's actually pretty significant, because that might be a permanent fix to a system that's been broken for 4 or 5 years. One of our haulers got attacked, and now our goods are sitting in a freight elevator at a platform alignment facility designed to communicate with nearby OLPs. What? Why is this priority? It's interesting. There are quite a few missions available now. Alright, what was I in the middle of doing? Going back to my ship? So we can actually play. Almost ready to go. It's only been an hour.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following.
Well, I hope the rock is still in there. Am I ready for the rock to be missing? No, genuinely I'm not. I have not seen the worms in person yet, no. I haven't had the chance to fire the laser. Yes. Oh, sweet. Whoa, this thing's freaking huge. Did everything spawn on top of each other? They did. Hey, glad you liked the stream, Pop. Doesn't look like it snaps yet to cargo grid, unless maybe my ship getting stored broke that, so we'll just pop this back over here. Yeah, 4.1 has some updates to mining as well. To be honest, I probably only need one more of these. I don't need all this. We're just testing it out. These, though. These are important. You know what? Can I store these? No, you can't even interact with the light lasers. There we go. Yeah, they're still snapping the grid. I guess all the other lasers disappeared. I'm gonna try something here. Yeah, good call, Vasson. Is 4.1 good? It seems to be doing okay. Still got its problems. You can't remove them from the box once they're in there. Yeah, I guess these are just not ready for release. Crap. Well, that means we have one option. As long as it's still here. This thing. And this. Hopefully we can still exchange it. We'll leave this box here. Actually, we'll take it just in case. Time to finally go riot mining. Do I think the new Hathor missions can be done solo? I think they can be theoretically, but you've got a lot of different places that you're gonna have to be. It's gonna take a lot to try and do solo. It'll also take you a really long time, which means other people will probably show up in the meantime.
Systems on. Launch complete. Landing gear up.
I say we give it a moment. Let's see what happens with these rock minables. This patch is still over a week away, and they're clearly adding stuff with the different PTU updates, so maybe the rock stuff is just something that'll come up a little later in the PTU cycle.
Quantum travel engaged.
Yeah, that laser starting up is going to attract everyone to the area. It's going to be really interesting to see how Star Citizen players learn to team up to finish missions, sandbox events like that. I mean, that's a dynamic event, right?
Quantum travel complete.
Alright, which moon do you guys like? I'm personally a big Magda fan, but any Hurston moon we can go to. What do y'all want to see?
Quantum travel engaged.
You want to see Aberdeen? Daylight, yeah, well, I agree with you there. Let's make sure we're in the actual light so we can see something. Alright, we'll hit up Aberdeen.
Systems off. Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on.
And away we go. Not so much. How about now? No? Okay.
Quantum travel complete.
What is the blue thing that follows my crosshair shaped sort of like a ship? That is my, that's basically where my cursor is. So I'm using, this is what it looks like when you're using a mouse. You just pick a direction and it drags it there. So it's just showing me what direction and how much am I dragging. Unless you're talking about that thing with the 3 prongs there, that is my direction indicator. So if I strafe right, you can see it slowly starting to move right. If I strafe up, you can see it going up. Strafe left. This is a really good way to understand what you're going to hit when you're flying. Which is something I have to often deal with.
Quantum travel engaged. Systems off. Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems
Yeah, the vector hybrid. Of all people to talk about the vector indicator, I feel like it would be the one who's judging landings. You know, I was actually just thinking about you, Hybrid. When I took off earlier in this stream, I was like, I wonder what Hybrid would have thought of that takeoff. You know when I swear off talking, I can't actually stop talking. Just to be clear to everybody, because this is something that comes up quite a bit when talking about Star Citizen, my whole thing getting ready right now, actually, I'm just going to make a point of this. Let's test it out together. Because I want people to feel more comfortable playing this game without dealing with the very obvious problems that we have. One of which being, it just took me an hour to get started on this. But what I'd like to put to the test now is logging off and logging back in from here. Because if this works, and you can load your entire ship up, float in orbit over a moon, and then log out, if you can log right back in from here, I mean, that's cutting off basically an hour of prep time, at least if you're as slow as me. Now, for most people, it's probably cutting off like 20 to 30 minutes of prep time for mining specifically, but it's still pretty important, and I think people should know if it's possible. That being said, there we go. Here we go. Oi. All right. Now we try loading back in. Let's see. You will still need to prep? Why would you still need to prep? The prep is what you did before you logged off, no? Hey, Colt, thank you so much for the bits on Twitch. Appreciate you. Yeah, dead tired. I don't even bother telling my friends about the game right now. Okay. Back into the ship. And all of our stuff is still here. So yeah, if you have a real problem with how long it takes to get started with this game, you can definitely cut down on the time it takes by logging out from your ship. Uh-oh. The moon is gone, though. Oh, there it is.
A journey breathtaking. Systems on.
So this could have been my start. We could have just been 2 minutes into the play session now. Safer to land and log out. Over the years, it was always safer to get up in space away from a bunch of stuff, but it might work landed now. Whoa. Still time you need to invest, but I mean, that's the difference between an hour and 5 minutes. How long can you be logged out for? As long as you want. It's the same as a regular logout. Wow, Aberdeen looks a lot more wasteland with the clouds. Definitely. Yeah, you'd have to do that setup at some point, for sure. They might only have an hour to play. The thing is, so the way I see it, if you want to do mercenary missions. You go get your weapons, go get your armor, go get your ammo, get your med pens, get on your ship and fly somewhere, right? If you log out from your ship, when you first get your ammo, weapons, and armor, you bring a little extra for you. Better yet, loot the people that you kill. Then, when you are all done with your mercenary missions, you log out from your ship. When you log back on, you will still have your weapons, your armor, and your ammo, as well as all of the loot, and a mission right in front of you. So, that is, I mean, for somebody who doesn't want to spend time in this game, you don't have to. You can just keep looting for the stuff you need. Just a matter of like how much you feel like you need to put in to make that happen, versus how much does the game need to hold your hand to get there. It's not a hand-holdy game, since it's not complete, but I don't think even when it's finished it's going to be all that. They're going to leave a lot of stuff for you to kind of figure out yourself. Feign Malign? That looks like rock minables. This ground is ridiculous, though. Ships feel so fragile for that.
Engines off.
Fair, but what are you going to lose? What do you lose by storing your stuff on your ship and logging out? If your ship ends up blowing up or not working, then you just spawn back where you would have anyways if you didn't spawn out on your bed. If you store stuff in the personal lockers and your ship blows up, do you lose it all when you reclaim it? Still? Don't know. That might change with 4.1. I'm not sure. Yeah, multiple people logging out from the same ship bed is a problem still. Yeah, Ricardos, we're getting some mining done.
Systems activating. Systems on.
Alright, so we're gonna go out with the default loadout first. Didn't know Aberdeen had grass. Dude, what is going on? Did they update Aberdeen's planet features? This looks different. It looks so much better. I'm pretty sure they updated Aberdeen's biomes. Spirit is, yes, my daily driver. Okay, so we brought the rock out here. We have replaceable mining lasers, we have replaceable mining bags, and we have new materials to mine here. The goal with this is to see if we can replace those bags and lasers, and just kind of get a sense for how mining is in 4.1. Gotten a bit of an update. It's pretty hot out here, so we'll have to watch our temperature, but let's get started. Oh, Red Monster will absolutely be on the podcast to talk about these updates. You better believe it. This is definitely a beginner level rock. Oh wow, it is unstable. Did you see that? Look at the overcharge area. It's tiny. Mining feels more satisfying than Elite? I'm not sure about that. Elite's mining's pretty dang good. It's a different feel here. And more variety. But Elite's got good depth to their mining, from what I've seen. Yeah, this isn't really that hard for a beginner. I mean, even as a beginner, like, you're basically just pointing and pressing. There's not... The instability, I think, is not good enough. Whoa! Okay, see now, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. More instability, throw people off a little bit more like that, and this does become more difficult. How'd that happen? Was I too close? No, the rocks are all here. Yeah, I was very close to that rock. Not a good call. Come on. Core mining in Elite is very cool. Hope the bigger rock miners like the Orion have a similar vibe rather than heat up rock mechanic. Agreed. Or at least if it's a heat up rock mechanic, have us heat it up from the inside with bore mining. The rocks despawn? Alright, I'll start collecting them then. Alright, let's start collecting.
Fracturing mode on.
How do you switch again? Alt.
Mode off. Mining mode on.
Alt. B? Alt right click? Left alt left mouse, yes.
Extraction mode on.
It's freaking weird. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the ship real quick. We need to cool down. Starting to overheat. If you're gonna come out to a moon like Aberdeen, it's good to bring some of the appropriate armor. Or you end up like me.
Mining mode off.
And while we're here, why don't we see if we can change out the mining laser? First, I'll have to unlock the ports, actually. Is there a keybind for this? Right, Alt plus K. Okay, didn't do anything. I hope it worked. Whoa. Okay. No. Clearly, it doesn't still see the laser as a separate piece. So I guess this is a, it might be something that you have to do on the vehicle port. How about with this? Yeah, I think they still have some stuff to update with this before it's fully ready. We're just seeing the signs. Doesn't seem the vehicle has been updated for the functionality yet. The unlock parts didn't work.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
You did see someone physically pull it off? The laser on the rock? Okay, I am too far away. Let's move a little bit closer. There we go. Whoa! Ay, 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 ay. Lag spikes are still a thing, I guess. Crap. Let's back it up a bit. Give it a second to cool off. Okay. That was laggy. I am not using an upgraded laser right now. This is the basic. There's no overcharge window on this one. This is basically a freebie. Which is good because my laser's broken. There's so much lag right now.
Extraction mode on.
I can't even change my laser power.
Fracturing mode on.
Did I change a keybind somehow? Laser power is just... mouse wheel. So it's not alt mouse wheel. Well then yeah, why isn't it changing my laser power? That's really weird. And then vehicles, let's see. Port lock toggle is right alt plus K, yeah. So it should work. No, my laser's broken. Wonder if it got damaged when I splashed that rock. I can't change my laser power. Yeah, this is basically impossible to do right now. This is insane lag.
Extraction mode on.
We're currently on Aberdeen. Hey, somebody gifted out a sub anonymously. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
And Mr. Hodor, thank you for renewing your sub. 7 months now.
Hold the door, dude. Ugh, I'm overheating again. Hotter than the fever I had last night was. All right, let's head back to the ship. Really do got to have some hot weather armor for stuff like this. Toes. Sauce Pot, thanks for the Prime sub. Like I said, Prime subs are amazing. Those keep things going. Thank you so much. Anybody with Amazon Prime, you do get a free sub every month to use on somebody if you'd like. All right, let's try switching things out again, see if it works. Chill. There we go. Boom. Exchangeable. So we can do it. You just gotta grab this bag specifically. You can't target the whole vehicle. Okay. Can confirm. This is a new bag. And, I guess that's all it takes. So now is the question, what scenarios will that be best used for? Why would it be better to switch these bags out than to run up to the bag and put the stuff in your own backpack? Saucepot, you watch the vids and the Spotify, finally able to catch the stream? Well, thanks for coming by the live. It's good times around here. Okay, let's see if this is working again, though.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
Could have 10 bags and stay away from an LZ for days. True. But you could also have 10 backpacks and do the same. Just wondering, how do we find the benefits of the bag over the backpack? Man. Yeah, this still doesn't work.
Off. Systems activating. Systems on.
Yeah, I don't know. This lace is broken. Yeah, the backpack will be smaller, that's for sure. Putting the bags in a container. I can't see why you wouldn't be able to. We can actually try it. Oh no, the bags are too big for containers. You'd have to get bigger containers. That took a while. Scrub, you're saying no transfer to backpacks? If the cargo person has an extra rock bag for every rock in the operation, then every time the cargo person makes a round to pick up something from one of their miners, they would just give them the old rock bag that was empty. So you just keep a bunch of rock bags in your ship and fly around changing them out. So we need to see if you can sell from the rock mining bag on a ship cargo grid.
Extraction mode on.
You have to unload the bag. So it doesn't really help that much, yeah? Because you would have to unload your backpack too.
Fracturing mode on.
Okay, so it's really the size that makes the big difference. When you say you have to unload the bag, do you mean you have to put the bag on the freight elevator, or you literally have to take the gems out of the bag and put them somewhere else? Yeah, size makes it better than a backpack. Convenience makes it better than a SCU box. Oops. Should have seen that coming.
Extraction mode on.
Got almost everything.
Fracturing mode on.
Last rock right here. Oh, this one's a little bit tougher. My vision is going so bad I can't even see the... There we go. Alright, we're starting to take damage from overheating now. And they said mining isn't dangerous.
Extraction mode on.
Alright, back to the airlock. Let's go. I'm stuck. Freaking ground vehicles. Let me out. Aye. Okay, we're good. Danger mining.
Systems off.
Yeah. So once you fill up your And this thing isn't even full, and those things can't fit in the backpack. So yeah, you'll want one of these. Some of these. I guess let's just take them both. Come on. Where do you sell these? Outposts or refinery stations?
Systems off. Crusader Industries.
What time is it? Wonder if we have time to go hit up a handyman mission real quick. Can I sell here? Refinery. Yeah, if there's a refinery here, I should be able to sell minerals. Let's go there. I will be back shortly, folks. Okay. Let's go to the station first, then we're gonna jump through to Pyro and do some handyman missions. Hey, Mohammed. How you doing? Hey, thanks, Simon, for the shouting out for the likes on YouTube. That does help the stream when you guys like and engage.
Landing gear down.
You like the videos you watched as an indicator you've seen them? Well, YouTube's funny about engagement too. I always like to comment back. Some people will come into these videos that I make and they'll be like, "Ah, it's a huge scam. Nobody should be doing this. Blah blah blah, wasting your time." And I'm just like, dude, thanks for the comment. You guys are helping the video. Alrighty. So I cannot put these in the freight elevator and sell straight from that, right? I'm gonna have to find a way to. You said I need to put them on the freight elevator and then transfer them out and then sell. Calling Star Citizen a scam in 2025 is crazy though. Dude. People are going to call this game a scam for the rest of their lives. It doesn't matter how it looks or how it plays. What the? Well, thank you for tuning in, Mohammed. Hope you're having a good week. What's the best loop in the game? I personally am really enjoying just fighting and looting right now. Going to the different areas and seeing what I can obtain. Wonder if I should leave this in here. It'll be interesting to see if it's still here next time we get in. Handyman missions in Pyro are like repair. Outpost repair missions. So I'm just moving these into the warehouse, right? Amazing gameplay to start a session on the space station, get kitted out, fly to a planet, land, kill a whole town, and then loot. I love that last part. Just kill a whole town. So can I sell the... How does this work? Do I need to go over to the locker now and take them out? I don't play Elite Dangerous too much. I just started getting back into it, but my play sessions are few and far between. They don't even show up here. This is weird. Yeah, I'll just go to admin. Conversation earlier got you 3 likes. YouTube is not as generally engaged in the stream as much as Twitch during gameplay. YouTube usually pops up a little bit more with chat when we're talking about features and stuff, or like getting into the news. YouTube is more for the chatting. Twitch is generally here more for the gameplay. Have they fixed the route planner? What kind of problems are they having? I had problems earlier, but I was doing okay by 4.0.2. The controls in Elite Dangerous aren't the most fun and exciting. Oh, admin's right here. No, it doesn't even see the bags. No, I think the quantum travel problems are still there. In that case, yeah, they're not here. They're just gone. I don't want to quit out of the whole game. Maybe log out. They don't even have the commodity here. That's weird. All right, we'll try a Galta 4. They're currently in the cargo elevator. Actually, my respect to YouTube. YouTube chat's actually a lot more active today than Twitch. Shame on me. Just want to know when they're going to add quantum jumping into engineering. It's kind of wild, guys. Ever since I've started making more and more videos pointing out the content and fixes that are coming into the game, I am now starting to get more and more comments from people saying, I don't care, where is engineering? It's like the literal quarter that they decided to start doing the things to make the game better to play. People were like, no, put in more features. And I'm not saying that's what you're doing in your comment, but in the comments on videos, I'm already starting to see that a lot. Like, it's just, this is why CIG doesn't listen to the people. I mean, they do sometimes. Sometimes they do stuff that we ask for. But this is why, like, a company is just going to ignore folks, because you'll have one person being like, you're doing the worst thing. You're alienating your player base. This is a terrible addition. Don't do this. And you'll have another person be like, oh my God, this is everything I've been waiting for in this game. Thank you so much for doing this. And then people are like, but you need to listen to us. Well, dude, you're saying something the opposite of the next person in the forum. They can't listen to everybody. Those YouTuber nerds. I had a nice comment this morning that said, this is the problem with CIG. I don't even remember all of it. It was like about how CIG doesn't know what they're doing, and then YouTubers are apparently not gamers and they only want to... I don't remember what. I'm like, dude, we only make YouTube videos because we like the game. Yeah, that didn't work. I just don't think it works. They've still got some work to do on... physicalizing these rock pods, but at least we see that the functionality is there. It'll probably progress throughout PTU. Oh well. Well, rock mining it's working. It's getting there. Still not entirely ideal. But let's go do some handyman missions. I want to see what these are all about. We're making chicken noodle soup and bread on stream today. Yes, and I will be blindfolded. Wait, Mrs. Tomato, are you going to be deafened? Oh my gosh, this is going to be such a mess. No way to please everyone, yeah. Feels like they might be using the drive on content over features because they can't actually make the new features yet. Well, they can. We already are seeing engineering, like, they could definitely not stabilize the game, but that would kill the game. They can't afford not to now. Like, we know if they put in enough work, they could push forward stuff like FPS scanning and radar, but I think they're trying to balance it more. What did I even come here for? Oh. I think we still have some good features coming too. We all went over the monthly report together earlier this month, and then I posted that video on my main channel about it. Anybody who's paying attention knows they're still working on features. It's just people are frustrated that engineering didn't come in 4.1 since it was supposed to be there in 4.0. So I want the... They don't have the attachment I need here, I think. Pretty sure I want the salvaging attachment. Hate it when people try to talk for everyone, saying things like you're alienating the player base. They're alienating you and some people who agree with you. You can't speak for everyone. Yeah, that's true, Break. You can't just say, "Oh, you're alienating the player base," when you don't know what the player base is. My feeling is the video game industry should be like a free market. Now, maybe there should be some better protections to studios and better regulations on publishers being f***ing idiots. But overall, I think every game that somebody is making should just strive to be whatever game it is that somebody's trying to make. And then they should find the players for that game. That's obviously different when you're talking about like a series. You release Assassin's Creed Shadows, and obviously you need to include stuff that builds off of what you had in the original Assassin's Creed games. But how are you going to go and find an original game someone's making and then be like, no, that's not what we want. Don't do that. That's like telling an artist when they're coming up with their new album. You listen to the songs, and you're just like, you know what? I don't think this is you. I think you're gonna lose us all if you release this. And they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna release it. Every artist has some level of, I gotta take the feedback and make sure I'm meeting my fans in the middle. But I feel like that's what they're trying to do. They just kept Stanton but added core gameplay like trading in player bases and territory control, then it could have been an amazing game. But we wouldn't have a balance of factions. We wouldn't have the understanding of law. They could have kept it the 1-star system, but what would be the point? You would still need server meshing even if it was just 1-star system, so that doesn't really remove that aspect of it.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
I don't want to take the Spirit into Pyro. I'd rather take... Honestly, I think I might take a Cutter. Do we have one of those? They should have done regular performance cleanups as they went. This focus is well overdue and much needed. The more you build on top of the bad code, the worse the cleanup gets. Yeah.
Please visit us again.
The name of the game, though, it all comes back to the fact that they couldn't do this before server meshing. Doing this before server meshing would have been I don't know this as a fact, but I believe if they had tried to do a stability push before server meshing, we would have been screwed. Because, think about it.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Give me a ship.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following.
Let's just... Hold on. Let's take a quick look at what features have come out over the last few years. So let's say like back in 2021, I think it was 2020, right here when they got persistence. I think 3.9 introduced persistence. Let me double check. Star Citizen baby persistence. 3.20, 3.20. You can see where it happened in the funding. No, 0.8 team was the PES. That was persistent entity streaming. But we got long-term persistence in 3.8. So it would have been here. Yeah, so with server-side object container streaming, they brought in long-term persistence. Before this patch, every single update that came out wiped all your progress. So after this patch, the player base started to explode a lot more. Now, let's say that that was a very good time for them to be able to say, okay, we've reached a good milestone, let's start getting the game fixed. Well, so they could have probably, let's see. What kind of stuff came in? Now, some people don't want them to pause features. Some people would say do it all at the same time. But just to consider what features were coming in at that point and what they might have had to either slow down on or just not do before making the game function. The ability to send money to one another. Nothing else too crazy here. Inventory system. Nothing else too crazy there. Reputation. Mining refactor. Capital ship combat. Meh. The multi-tool. That's a big one. The tractor beams. Mining subcomponents. Reputation UI. Docking and undocking. Not stuff that we really use all that much, to be honest. Power management. Operator modes. Physical inventory. The looting feature. Personal inventory. Backpacks. Player healing. Jump down 2.0. That doesn't really do much for us, does it? Selling items to shops. Oh god, that was great. Does ship-to-ship refueling work? I know Rig was testing that out this week. And then obviously the cargo refactor is a big one. Salvage. This area, Ghost Hollow stuff. So all of these things are things they were putting time towards, rather than trying to maintain what was already there. And if they had decided back here when they reached that stability, we don't know how many of these things would have actually been available to us by 4.0. But what we do know is that the things that they completed here, some of them would have still had to be redone for 4.0. If they had, for instance, gotten the inventory working back here, and it was all good, by the time we got all the way up here where there was persistent entity streaming, they would have just reintroduced a whole bunch of bugs with the inventory system because it's changing the way the database works. If they had decided to, say, go and do a transit refactor back here to make sure that elevators and trains were working for the system we had, then once we got to 4.0 and they released server meshing, they would have had to do more refactors again. And that refactoring they did back here might have limited the work that they were doing towards some of the other things that, uses those devs. So they're playing a difficult game of deciding when they do and do not have to try to eliminate that tech debt and stuff, but I genuinely think that they would have been in a much harder position if they had tried to do it earlier on, before server meshing, before Gen 12, before PES came in, because they just would have slowed down the features that we were getting over the last 10 years, 5 years. And then it also would have meant another time doing it after server meshing came in, which maybe would have been good. I'm sure there's an argument that the last 4 years would have still just been a lot more enjoyable time if they have done that. But I think the most important thing they should be doing is trying to finish the game as quick as possible. And if that means we have to play a slightly jankier version than we want, okay. I'll take it. Trains were working perfectly before 3.18. Huh? I'm guessing you were not there for the great escape of Levski. That's some wild rewriting of history. Get this out of here. Oh! Okay, whatever. The trains still had their problems. It was definitely during the more intense times, like Invictus Week, but trains definitely had problems in Star Citizen before 3.18. And the train system isn't broken off from the elevator system. They all use the same transit.
Engines online. Quantum fuel is at 100. Landing gear up.
The I'll acknowledge that like server meshing did not make them better. they got worse after server meshing, but they were not great before it too. Or I'm sorry, not server meshing, 318 PES. Actually, yeah, they got worse with server meshing too. Most anticipated game loop is data running.
Landing gear down.
Why the cutter? Less imposing, a little bit smaller. Elevators were always broke. You remember spawning in hospitals and falling through elevators. 50-50 in 317. 317 was a great patch. 317 was good because 316 sucked. For in-game content, X4 has everything, Elite has more content, SC experience is something you won't find anywhere else. I love X4. I just wish the graphics and UI were more fun to use. Opening it up. Into Pyro we go. Not gonna lie, it's a little... I don't understand how the music is so jarring during that segment. Is there really that much discrepancy in how long it takes? Because, like... the transition of music isn't great, and the ending is sometimes off, and I'm like, what are you doing? All right, first step is to jump somewhere. Patch watch was posted. Thank you for the heads up. We will check that out soon. In fact, why don't we check out the patch watch and then we'll continue with the gameplay after it's done, yeah? Wait, is there different quantum travel music in Pyro? What is this music? It's actually pretty nice. It was like a nice frontier, peaceful kind of. All right, friends.
Your systems are offline. Hello and welcome aboard your Drake interplanetary craft. Your systems are online.
We will get back to this. Let us check out the patch watch.
It is time.
All right, y'all. So, Star Citizen, every patch they have, obviously we have the roadmap with all the official big ticket items on it that we get to learn about what's coming in the patch, but we also get patch watches, which are little posts made on the forums, the official forums, basically highlighting some of the smaller things coming into the update. So, they've released the 4.1 patch watch. I believe there's usually 2, maybe 3. Let's check in on this one and see what they have to say. Oh wow, it came out 2 hours ago. All right. Patch watch is back. This is where the spotlight of upcoming features, improvements, and fixes happen that are not listed in the public roadmap. 4.1 is testing across all PTU waves. We're in the final stretch. We're finding the last details. We probably about 10 days before this patch goes live. I'm guessing 27th, maybe 28th, possibly 31st. We will be doing a streamathon when it does go live. See you all there. All right. What's coming up in 4.1? We got Corsair balancing. In the Drake Corsair, when the co-pilot seat is empty, the pilot now has full control over all 6 guns. However, we fine-tuned the stats to maintain balance while staying true to the ship's original intent. The nose guns have been standardized to size 4, while the wing guns pack a punch at size 5. If a co-pilot hops in, they'll take command of the lower 2 nose guns, ensuring a dynamic multi-crew combat experience. The big question here is, were they planning on doing this all along? Now, there's something to be said about whether Star Citizen is a game that people should see as finalized or not. When the Drake Corsair got its changes last year, many folks were like, hey guys, let's wait and see where this goes. Many people straight up just sold their ship and said, I won't use this ship anymore. And so here we are about 4 or 5 months later, and they are changing it again. Fine-tuned, lowered the size of some of the guns on the nose, but have allowed you to keep control of them. And then it'll change up when somebody gets into the seat, taking over the turret. So my first question is to chat. Are there any other ships in the game where if you don't sit in a seat, the weapons are slaved, and if you do, you take them over as the co-pilot? Or is this the first time? Because if this is the first time, then it is possible that they just wanted to get this feature done so that they could have that availability. But then you're like, okay, well then why not just wait to change the Corsair until then? The Super Hornet. Okay. The Redeemer. Gotcha. So then, yeah, question is, why didn't they do it with this one first? Do you think this is a change from the backlash that they got? And if so, why didn't they do it earlier back in 4.0? I don't know. The best thing to keep in mind, though, is that things are always going to change. Don't ever pick a ship based on its hard points. Just don't. Pick it based on what it's supposed to be. And at some point in the future, it will be balanced to meet that goal. If you want a ship that is very good solo player combat ship, don't pick up a Hammerhead. It will never change to allow for that. But if you know you want a ship that can fight a whole bunch of dogfighters at one time, then get a Hammerhead. They're never going to balance it out of that position. All about the backlash? So you think that they're just like listening to the community and making changes that people are asking for? They added remote turret slaving to several ships last patch, this ship included. I see. So this is something that they're doing across multiple ships at the same time. Here we go. Some ships now have their remote turrets linked to the pilot seat by default, allowing pilots to control them without additional crew. However, when the designated turret operators take their seats, they take full control from the pilot. This includes the Valkyrie with its wing guns, the Carrack with its top remote turret, the Reclaimer with 2 of its side remote turrets, the Argo Raft, and the Hercules, Crusader Hercules, the freaking raft. Okay. Notably, pilots can only fire these turrets within their firing arc, as they don't have forward view, as they don't have access to the full remote turret view. Dedicated operators are required to utilize the turret's full pitch and yaw range. Wonder if they sat down and really thought about this over the winter. And they were like, how far do we want to go with restrictions? Valkyrie has been expanded as well. Ooh, sorry. Valkyrie has raised the height limit by 1 row on the cargo grid, which now gives it 90 SU of storage. Funny because I remember when you couldn't store anything on the Valkyrie, basically. Combat collision improvements on the physics side. Ship collision damage handling is now done using full collision data passed down by physics. This means mass and speed is now fully calculated in the collision and will make the damage between larger and smaller vehicles more realistic, so your Anvil arrow will no longer be able to run full speed into a Polaris and provide it with a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. I wonder what they won't update VFX for this kind of stuff, but there's a lot that goes into one ship hitting another. The sound effects, the video effects. I wonder how good it actually looks. I know some people have already posted these videos online, so you can go around YouTube and check out what ship ramming looks like nowadays, but I'm sure we'll find it out naturally at some point. Okay, radar style update. They have improved the radar display for a smoother, more intuitive data reading experience in both combat and navigation. The background has been replaced and radar contacts have been slightly enlarged to make nearby vehicles easier to see in space, a small adjustment that should enhance the overall cockpit experience. Just more quality of life. There's just more playability changes. All of this is playability stuff. None of this has anything to do with like features or some big improvements that they've made, except maybe this physics stuff. All of this is just more of their 2025 playability push. Here's some Arena Commander stuff. Astor's clearing is being added, a Stanton settlement on Microtech ported from the PU. While it didn't quite fit other modes, we're bringing it in for free flight for exploration. Interesting. To emphasize free flight. Crossroads of Crime. The largest Arena Commander map ever, this map will be featured in multiple game modes. Free flight, tank royale, team elimination, single weapon elimination, gun rush, and FPS kill confirmed. How about Theaters of War? How crazy would that be if they had Theaters of War listed here? Hey, France. Kimber, catch you around. By the time you're back, we'll probably be doing our cooking stream. Just make sure to keep an eye out for Mrs. Tomato being live. If you stay... Oh, you won't stay in the stream. Oh, I need another cough drop. Maverick, thank you so much for the bits, dude. Really appreciate it. Ooh, sorry for the wait. That is painful. Okay. And one more. Sorry, painful in the throat. A bit of a coughing fit. Okay. Sorry to everybody. I am sick right now, so if I sound weird or if I am not consistently talking, that's why. All right, they say note that the team-based modes in 4.1 now let you choose between light, medium, or heavy armor instead of being locked into a preset. In the future, we'll expand this to full in-game FPS loadout customization across all applicable modes. Also, the next featured weapon in Arena Commander Gun Rush will be the Pyro SMG. What is the Pyro SMG? Is that... It's not the Ripper, right? Oh, I've got my tea. Thank you, guys. Ooh, just spilled some of it. Bonus lore. It's the Ripper. Okay. Bonus lore for this location. Discovered in 2445, the United Nations of Earth was conflicted about what to do with the Nexus system. Since the only jump point at the time was through Cathcart, they tried to use the system as a dedicated military training system. But budget issues forced the government to sell exclusive mining rights to the system to the Hathor Group in a deal that ultimately inspired the sale of Stanton's system centuries later. A tale of as old as time in sci-fi. A freaking company buying a star system. Hathor indiscriminately stripped the system of its resources, then abandoned it. Over the decades, outlaws, squatters, and refugees began to move in as the system slipped into obscurity. It wasn't until 2931, after Dean Keller's infamous run, that the UEE realized how dangerous and entrenched these criminals had become and decided to take it back. The year is now 2934. The UEE is still attempting to restore order. That's wrong. I guess this is just like an old input. The UEE is still attempting to restore order by sweeping out the outlaws and squatters who have taken residence in the system. Experience the crossroads of crime, how it was on the day that the UEE advocacy battled against the Supreme Gang in the battle for the Hathor mining facility on Nexus 3. So, this is the facility that's on Daymar. Well, not the exact facility. Related, though. And they're just giving some extra background for people who are going to be seeing this eventually. Okay. AI improvements. NPCs previously had a habit of shooting at downed players, perhaps to ensure they were truly dead. Yeah, that was really rude. NPCs were double tapping us. We've refined their behavior so they now focus only on live targets. Oh, okay. Additionally, some NPCs didn't always react properly to player presence. You may have encountered situations where enemies exited their search behavior but failed to engage correctly, either firing at corpses or simply staring at the player without attacking. We fixed one of the key issues behind this. Let's be super clear here. They have fixed one of the key issues behind this, which is where a mismatch in internal state caused NPCs to behave correctly. Be ready for more reactive NPCs in 4.1. Let's be completely clear here. Something else can break the NPCs. They fixed one, and that's why they said they fixed one of the key issues, because this might not actually lead to the problem being solved. But we have noticed NPCs being a lot more fun to fight. Like, they rush, they hang back, they snipe you, they flank you. It's a good time now. It's definitely better than it was before. So AI is getting better. Appreciate that. This is just more playability stuff. And mining updates, which we were just trying out in game together. To better define mining gameplay and progression, we split FPS and ground vehicle minables into separate categories. Previously, resources like Aphorite, Dolovine, and Hadanite were shared between both mining methods, but now each has its own exclusive mineable with distinct difficulty ratings. This change ensures that mining with vehicles like the Rock offers a unique experience separate from FPS mining and allows for clearer progression path from beginner to expert tier resources. Additionally, we've introduced 4 dedicated size 0 mining heads for the Rock, each offering specialized benefits such as improved instability reduction, resistance reduction, optimized charge windows, and increased laser power. These are the Arbor, Hofstede, Klein, and Helix mining heads. The Rock DS also has a new modifier attached to it that gives a bonus to the optimal charge rate for all mining lasers attached. So, the Rock DS gets some kind of artificial modifier. Not crazy about that. But this makes the changes official, so what we were experiencing is just not done yet in the PTU. My favorite thing about this is it no longer makes ship mining seem like the final frontier. This now makes it so that FPS mining, vehicle mining, and ship mining all have their own progression and will all be valuable. Because yeah, right now we don't really care about this stuff. Like what's the most expensive? That's what I'm gonna mine. What's replacing my Hadanite? That's what I'm gonna mine. But once crafting starts coming in, this will give us the ability to be like, okay, we need to go out on an FPS mining expedition because we need this kind of resource. I like that. Good Lord. Okay. Recent adjustments based on your feedback include doubling the power of ground mining vehicle lasers, halving the charge time required to break rocks, and making FPS minables harder to extract with vehicle lasers to reinforce the intended gameplay balance. These changes aim to introduce core mining mechanics like resistance and instability gradually, to allow miners to develop their skills before taking on more complex challenges. More advanced minables will be introduced over time, with some already in-game, such as Janelite. You'll see just how demanding expert mining can be. We have also slightly increased the laser power of the multi-tool. Okay. So you can see they added 4 new minables for vehicles. One of them we don't even know. And they added, looks like 3 new minables for FPS. And they all have different difficulties. So different levels of progression. Now, this is something they mentioned towards the beginning of the year. It's nice to see it coming in at 4.1. They're doing a good job of bringing in these constant, like, these are These are all pretty small things that they're changing, but they're going to add up. They're going to add up over this year for sure. Either way, that is your patch watch for 4.1, March 19th. We'll probably come back with a little bit more next week before the launch of the update. But stay tuned if you want to know what's going on. Oh, we got kicked. Too bad. Which means we'll end up back in Stanton, which means not enough time to go do a handyman mission, to be honest. Unless it lets us back in where we were. Nixon 4.2, you wild. I think we could see Nix this year. Yeah, we're in 2955. Man, it loaded me all the way back in Stanton. Dang it. Yeah, we're not going to have enough time to go do a handyman mission. Sorry, y'all. Should just logged out on the bed. Actually, I'll take my fastest ship, and we'll see what we can do.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to claim it. Yeah, I'm going to have to claim it. Okay, we'll take the MSR.
Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your
Is the
vehicle
MSR
has been
fast in
delivered to the
Quantum?
following location. Please visit.
I feel like the MSR is slow in Quantum. What's a fast ship in Quantum?
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
The Carrack? That's a little overkill. Whatever, let's take the MSR. Yeah, my C1 has to be claimed, though. MSR does okay? I love how PK's like, whoever just said, Harold, you better hide. And then immediately after that, Maverick is like, Harold.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
What the hell? Dude, why do I have to claim it,
Insurance
man?
claim has been. Thank you. Please visit us again.
They're like, we've realized that 90% of your claims are of ships that
The
haven't
ASOP Vehicle
been destroyed.
Retrieval
Yeah, that's
System.
because of this shit.
Your insurance
damn it.
claim has been sent.
Just wasting time now. This is just so annoying. The freaking database on this game. Let's take the
Your
fortune. The
vehicle
fortune
has been
should be
delivered
good,
to the
right?
following location. Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Oh no, it's just not going to get me a ship. It's just not even going to spawn me a ship.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Yeah, everything I'm trying to spawn is just being destroyed.
Please visit us.
The overall addition of these hangars has been just, oh God, awful. They work, and I'm glad we have them because it's more of like how the game is supposed to work. Oh God, but there's just such a unstable addition.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Okay, let's see if a nomad, if I can just...
Your vehicle has been delivered.
There we
to
go.
Please visit us again.
Test your patience to the extreme. Yes, it does. And now I'm all drugged up right now. I don't need a hanger to be annoying. Hey, Mohammed, what are all these random words you're posting in the chat, man? Oh God, I don't know what Aesop.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
I don't know what it stands for.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the following locations. Your vehicle has been moved to our storage facility.
Automated ship organization program. No time to rest, gunslinger. It's all good. I'm doing all right. I've got the best medical care you can get. Keywords for what? All right, we got about 15 minutes. Can we get to a moon and start a handyman mission in that time? No, they've not mentioned anything about... Well, they've mentioned that they're working on expanding hangars, making them more customizable and useful, but they didn't say anything specifically about that elevator.
Crusader Industries. A journey breathtaking. Systems on. Launch complete. Landing gear up.
You knew already? What? I do not know, man. You're confusing me. He'll slip whiskey in his soup. Huh. That sounds dangerous.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Shields off.
Feels better than 318. Yeah. Yeah. I would say Star Citizen's always improving. Every patch has its different glitches and problems, but it's always been making forward progress. Whenever you get to whenever you encounter a patch in Star Citizen that has more stability than you're used to, a lot of times you'll also notice that, oh yeah, there's more stuff to do now. It could have been crazy stable a couple years ago. Didn't have the features to use though, like the cargo refactor or salvage or literally stability of server meshing. Almost went in a little bit too early. Yeah, we got people saying the boost sound is great and also terrible in chat. We good. Let's go. Nope, too early again. Oh, there's my cutter.
Quantum travel engaged.
Yes, a new quantum travel music in Pyro. Just for the record, the sounds that you hear in ships are not real sounds. They're replicated by the ships. They're currently working on getting the realistic audio in game too.
Quantum fuel 75%.
It's not necessarily that it'll be nothing. You'll hear basically anything impacting the hull of your ship. And whatever sounds your ship makes reverberated through the hull. And then otherwise, your ship basically recreates every sound that is expected to give you better awareness of your surroundings. It's a cool feature. Depending on how they implemented it, it could be really cool. It'd be sick if that was linked to a component. Take too much damage and your sound starts to get weird. Crack the canopy. Venting atmosphere. Can't hear anything clearly. The klaxon's blaring. You're losing oxygen. You're throwing your suit on. Luckily, the fires are going out because you're venting. Sometimes venting can ignite fires. Well, it sounds like you're just out of luck.
Quantum travel complete.
That was fun. Alright. I'm gonna hit a CFP outpost.
Quantum travel engaged.
Oh, I really hope the sun's coming up.
Quantum travel complete.
Is Jackson's swap, is that CFP or Headhunters? Oh, crappy map. Sunset Mesa and... Okay, they're both CFP. Let's go to Jackson's then. It's a little closer. Sun will be coming up earlier there.
Shields on.
Whoa. Just see something explode down there? What the? Why are things exploding? This is not... It doesn't raise my confidence that they're doing good things out here.
Engines off.
How could venting cause a fire? I don't know. only thing I can think of is combining two elements that chemically combust. Oh my god, farting me a candle. Well, there you go. There's your answer, folks. Farting. Maintenance missions. Look at that. Remote outpost, remote outpost, remote outpost. These all are remote outposts needed. Okay. Let's take one. And I'm probably going to need a repair tool. 16 clicks though. Like, it's not quite the distance where I would drive a vehicle out there. No shopping in here. Commodity shop. Dang it, these are all inventory things. Where's the actual shop? Did I bring fuses and repair tool? No, they didn't have them where I was. But I also just wanted to get out here really fast, so I wasn't really... And I was hoping they'd have this stuff here. But I guess it's just all clothes. Oh, no. There we go.
We just got a few new...
No repair tool, though. Is it hot? Alright, just gonna finish this mission. Alright, let's go see what we can do with the fuses, because cooking stream is ready to go. Did something else just explode? The outpost seems to be a little bit more stable. Yeah, I like these outposts. I can't wait until Stanton gets larger outposts and, yeah, larger outposts like this. That's going to be a joy to go and visit in Stanton. Oh my God, you're right. Good job, chat.
Engines on. Launch complete.
Wow, this is truly a remote outpost. They couldn't find it anywhere closer? This is a long trek. No wonder they had to hire somebody else to come do this. God, I hate not having my eye tracker.
Landing. Engines off.
Okay, what do y'all need here? Got a repair tool in here? Nope. You gotta repair this pipe. Looting is dead, they say. Not like I'm carrying fuses in my hands. I'll gladly loot fuses from somebody's backpack. Alright, don't know what that powered back up. Should be good though. Other bit is a pipe, but I can't do that today because we don't have a repair tool. So, cheers. But I guess, yeah, so maintenance missions, repair missions, the beginning of engineering is finally landing at outposts in the Pyro system. I think we'll do a whole bunch of these on Friday. We'll run Pyro missions through the test on Friday and see what we can find that might be a little bit weird or different. Because I think this is really going to be something that's fun to do as like a casual... This could be the new box missions. This could be the new thing to tell newcomers to do. I mean, you do need to buy in a little bit more for fuses, but this is going to get people out to outposts, understanding mechanics, seeing new places. As soon as this is available in Stanton, probably going to be the mission that I tell people to go do. You just tell one of your Sherpas to bring you one? Not like there aren't 5 of them flying around keeping you safe. Really? We have Sherpas in the area? Well, you'd have to have a vulture or a fortune to craft these, which is probably a bigger buy-in for new players. But yeah, this is gonna be good stuff. All right, y'all. The cooking stream is ready to go, so we're gonna head on over. I'm going to have Mrs. Tomato do more of the talking. I will be blindfolded for today's cooking stream, so not sure how it's going to go, but it should be a good time. Like last week, but more chaotic, I imagine. I'm gonna just go let her know. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. 911 on standby. Yeah, dude. Get the fire department ready. Actually, no. Probably the paramedics. I'm going to cut a finger off, most likely. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay today. Got to see something a little bit new and interesting. I think we did some good feedback research stuff. Got to understand how rock mining was going so far. Checked out the patch watch and kind of checked out the maintenance missions. This is tomato. Man, it's always so bad at making this happen. Let's see, raid. There we go. Okay. Alrighty. So I will see you guys down there. We're going to hop on over to the kitchen, do some cooking streams. We'll talk, chat a little bit. I won't be able to read chat, but I'll have Mrs. Tomato tell me what you guys are saying. And we should talk about thoughts. How are things going right now with Star Citizen 4.1? How you feeling? How you doing? How you being? Thank you all for being here. Oh. Of course. This is so indicative of Pyro. It's actually kind of funny. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you... I don't even understand what is the point of blowing up a ship somebody's not using. Y'all have a good time. See you downstairs. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, YouTube. Hit the link I just put in chat if you want to come join us. Okay, bye.